Hola, I'm Viviana, and this is Migrant Talks. Hi everyone, welcome to this episode. My name is Viviana Castrillon, and this is Migrant Talks, an honest conversation with migrant entrepreneurs. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram or LinkedIn, subscribe to this channel, and activate the bell to receive notifications every time I upload a new video. Let's begin. Today, we are going to talk about emotional overwhelm when you are an entrepreneur, which is a state of being beset in intense emotion that is difficult to manage. It can affect your ability to think and act rationally. It could also prevent you from performing daily tasks. And for this episode, we are going to talk with a migrant entrepreneur that has experienced all of that in her life. She was born and raised in Turkey. In 2016, she launched her first small business in textile industry in Turkey. In 2020, she established her second small business called EcoVibes in Australia. EcoVibes offers a range of ethnically sourced, earth-friendly, sustainable, reusable household and self-care products that will help people to reduce their footprints on Earth. Please welcome Bircan Topaz. Hi Birkan, how are you today?
Hi, Vivian. I'm good. Thank you for having me. How are you?
Thank you so much for being today here. I'm very well, thank you. A little bit coffee, uh, um, but all good. Um, so let's start today our video talking about EcoVibes. So tell us a little bit about your business, what do you do, and then we start from there.
Okay, so EcoVibes is an online store where it offers eco-friendly household and personal care products. Um, I established EcoVibes in 2020 during the lockdown time. Uh, so yeah, I am the owner of the Eco Vibes as well as everything. Um, the only worker right now, and yeah,
Okay. Um, so you are from Turkey, right?
yes, I am.
Okay. So how different is Turkey from Australia, in terms of culture, in terms of like stuff?
Hmm. Well, there are so many different aspects of it to look at. It is quite different. First of all, it is not as multicultural country as Australia is. So it's like a one nation country. So on the other side, Australia is more like multicultural. So it's more rich in the cultural wise. Um, if you think of the business aspect of it, so you do have different types of clients and different kinds of likes or not likes or the different ways of communication, but you try to find the common um, sense of it, like the common communication. But yeah, it's different. The food is different. And yeah, but it's beautiful. Both of the countries, I feel like I'm at home, like it is my home. I love both of the countries. I'm happy to live in both. I love the people.
That's good. Um, so I ask you because in our introduction, I said that you have two businesses. So you have one in
Yes.
Turkey and you have one in Australia. And then
Hmm.
you just said that like you are the only employee for here for the one here in Australia. So
Yes.
how that works? How a newlywed woman living in Australia have two businesses in the one international, and how you manage the whole thing?
So the difference between establishing a company in Turkey in your own country than in a totally strange country is very different. Um, when I first established my own company back in Turkey, so it being in your own country offers you more freedom. It could be a financial freedom, hiring people, finding your store, and so on. But in here, you have more restrictions. Um, First and foremost, the financial restrictions. Let's say that you cannot just go to a bank, get a loan, and then, or just, show your business plan and then start your own business. I didn't try, but I believe it is like that, especially if you do not have any permanent residency or you're not a citizen. Um, so there are more restrictions here, and of course there are more to learn about the culture, about the language, about the networking, and so it's more difficult to start from the scratch. Um, so overwhelm, so what do we mean by overwhelm is basically is the stress, the experiencing stress due to amount of the work or the difficulty of the work that you are assigned to. So in that case, you, as an owner of a small business, like you mentioned before, if you were to work in a company in one single position from 9 to 5 or 9 to 6, after 6 o'clock, when the time is up, you're out. And it's not really your concern what's going on after that, your working hours. But in our cases, when we say that we are an entrepreneur, we are a small business owner or a business owner, that you don't want to work 9 to 5 and then you find yourself working 24/7. And this it is different. Like, I know myself that I am packing products at 1 a.m. in the morning. You know what I mean? So there is no end to it. There is like it has different freedoms that it gives you, but not at the beginning. So you have to bring that business to the stage where it can give you freedom, actually. But before that, you work 24/7 on the weekends, 2 a.m. in the morning, or you know what I mean? But you love what you do, so you don't mind what you're doing or how much effort you have to give into. So yeah, it has its challenges, and it can be very overwhelming because at the same time you have different responsibilities, such as, like I said, that I'm newly married. I have now my housewife duties. um, you know, even you're not married, like living by yourself, like you still have to like maintain your house, organize your things, um, do your own grocery, and you have living responsibilities, as well as you have personal care responsibilities that requires time, that sometimes you just want to go get your nails done, right? Or I don't know, go for spa, or like or even just to do things that you love doing, like your hobbies. Like sometimes you don't have any time to spare for your hobbies or your partner or your friends because you feel guilty. Oh, there are
Okay,
so much things to do. You
that
know
is
what I
that
mean?
that that's a very very important thing because I feel, I personally feel that the guilt is very attached with the overwhelmed feeling. So
That's true.
in my case, I have my small business. I have two kids Both of them are toddlers. One is 2, the other one is 5.
Mm, that's sweet.
I'm married, obviously. Um, well, no, not obviously, but I'm married. Um, and I need to find time for myself to go out with my friends, to do stuff, like just normal, regular stuff for females. Um, and what I always feel when I have to choose, because that's like a choosing battle all the time. Okay, so I have 3 hours. What I'm going to do in those 3 hours? I'm going to work, which I need to do, but also I need to do laundry because the kids don't have any more clean socks, for example. Or I need to go to the groceries because there is no more milk. Or I'm feeling stressed and I want to go and have a haircut because I want to, like I look nice and whatever. So it's always a choosing battle. Like it's a battle between many options and no much time. And what you said is
Yeah.
true. Like uh, constantly I found myself, and with the people that I have talked before, um, they always said I have found myself like midnight, 2 a.m., still working, like doing my stuff. And yes, I love it. But what is the point when that love and enthusiasm and, like all that passion burns you out? Because like you are not sleeping, you are not resting, you are all the time like 100%,
On the go,
100% on the
working.
go. And then suddenly you just feel burnt out, feel like this is way too much for me, just for me.
That is very true. Also, sometimes like you know that you have a lot to do, and then it overwhelms you so much that you end up doing nothing at all
Yes.
because you don't even know where to start with. And then like you wake up, start the day, and then yes, I need to clean, I need to cook, I need to work on my business, and then it's just like overwhelms you, and then you just like feel like you are, like some sort of paralyzed, and you end up doing nothing at all because over being overwhelmed, it um uh how to say it, just affect your productivity as well. You know what I mean? Or when you're working, you back on your mind, you're just like thinking, okay, what time should I start cooking? Or I needed to do this, but I haven't do that yet. And then it's just like constant things. So yeah, I can relate, and I'm sure lots of people can relate as well. Um, but what I find that is helping me with that is that breaking down things,
Okay.
like having a to-do list. And when you write down your to-do list, whether you take a note or it's all in your head, okay, what's the plans for today, what I needed to do. So I find very manageable when I break it down. Instead of saying clean, let's say vacuum, right? Instead of saying that work, just do admin work or break it down, just add a new product or fix product descriptions, or you know what I mean? Just break it down. And then when you have a lot ahead of you, just you have to keep telling yourself that you can only do one thing at a time. So, and then when you get one thing done, and you can move forward and then get the other things done, but you can't, how to say that, divide yourself in three and then you do this, you do that, you do that. So you
Yeah.
can't do that. So um yeah, I think breaking down is very important.
There is a model, actually. There is a model called the Eisenhower model, if I'm not wrong, which is how you can be more productive. So in that list that you said, in all those lists that you make of important stuff,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we put stuff that is not as important as other. Like what is immediate, what is important, and when can be delegate, and what is like just like just not important at all. So this
Mm-hmm.
model is pretty interesting because with this you can organize your task according to priorities and according to what it really is going to help you to achieve a goal. um, and it is really good as well because obviously keep you grounded, so your expectations are not too high and you are not get frustrated when something doesn't happen, because you are going to do the most immediate and the most important stuff first. So like you are always going to have that feeling of achievement. So I think it's
Mm-hmm.
really good that you said that, because this model is actually, it was actually made by a president in United States,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the way that he organized, and his secretary organized everything for him so he could do his job, which is nothing, is nothing less than the president of a country, which I think it could be very overwhelming as well.
That's true. Yeah. Um,
So,
yeah.
what other practices do you keep in mind, or do you do in your daily life that keep you away from that feeling overwhelmed and burnt out and exhausted? What other things do you do apart from the lists and all of that?
So I can say, well, so sometimes you think that there is not enough hours in a day to be able to do, things that needs to be done. And um, sometimes I can be very impatient with myself, like, like because you are a part of the process and you want to see the results. And then because you have the result in mind, all those process, you want that to happen just like that, but it doesn't. It takes time and can be like very overwhelming. And so to what I do is that I take breaks to, like rest my mind, my brain a little bit, to gain my focus again, and then work, um, get back to work, or just stop with the work a little bit, or go and do some house duties, um, you know, and then I don't know, drink lots of coffee in the meantime. Um, yeah, so I don't know. I have a small garden outside that is just like, helps me to, even when I look from here, I see like my palms out there. So it just gives me the feeling that's just calm down. The nature is just like that peace. Um, yeah, so we are harvesting or our own vegetables, like some vegetables. So sometimes like going and spending time with them is helping as well.
My grandmother, she is a nature lover, and she always said that when you feel that you don't have energy, that you are like, like a zombie, she always said, go and hug a tree, because the tree will energize you. And and I think that, like, so what I understand is that you're saying that to not get overwhelmed and to keep you grounded, when you are feeling like that, don't focus in that emotion right now, but just change
Mhm.
the situation. So like if you are feeling
Yes, change the
overwhelmed,
environment.
then just go outside and hug a tree, or plant a garden, or do something different that will keep your mind
Yes.
distracted from that emotion, and when you are calm, just go back and see things with different eyes. Is that right?
Yeah, like even couple of weeks ago, maybe if I'm not wrong, that I was so overwhelmed that I found myself crying in my office. And then my husband came and, and then he just sat down and I started telling of my emotions. And even when you share your emotions with someone, that and there is if there is someone who is like ready to listen to you, sometimes not even need to give you an advice but be there for you to listen. And even when you speak loudly all the thoughts that are running through your mind, when you speak them loudly, it sounds, oh, actually, you know it's not of a big deal. Like, I can solve that problem. I'm strong enough to solve that problem, or it's not that big of a problem. Like, sometimes you just overthink yourself because of the emotions being overwhelmed. You overthink, and your brain is so cloudy, like, that you can't think straight. So sometimes even having a nice conversation with your family or friends, or it helps a lot. It helps a lot. And then um, knowing that they support you, they believe in you, and they also love what you do, you know and whatever it is that you do, whether you provide a product or a service, or just yeah. And it's okay to sometimes be fear of failure. So that must be sometimes the biggest reason why we feel overwhelmed, because we want to success, but then the fear of, like, the failure, it just overwhelms you, or doubting yourself, because we are the I don't know, I am the most mm, I criticize myself a lot. So sometimes our self-doubt can give us overwhelming feelings. So having a conversation with someone, like, that, with the loved ones, with family or with friends, it helps a lot too.
Hmm. Yeah, that happens to me a lot. Like, my husband is the one that brings me down and put me in the ground, and he's like, Viviana, relax, calm down. Because
Yes.
sometimes, like, it happened to me that, for example, in my industry, and marketing and stuff. Marketing is about methodologies, tools, and stuff, but also is about creativity, how to solve problems in a very creative way. And I have the tendency that when an idea gets stuck in my head, I start rumming the idea and rumming the idea to the point that
Mhm.
I'm sleeping and I'm not really sleeping. I'm just thinking in the idea. Okay, so I could do this and I could do that, and there is a point that is so imperative, is so strong, that I actually wake up. I'm not sleeping, obviously. So, like, I stand up and I grab my phone and I start checking things that I just thought, because I cannot tune off. And obviously,
Yes.
at next day, I'm like a zombie, because I haven't sleep, because I'm really tired, because I have two kids, and it's not like I can sleep until 9. They are 6 o'clock in my bed, like, mommy, I want this, I want that. Um, so there should be a moment where you said, this is important, yes, but my health, my rest, my life is even more
Yes,
important than that.
that is very true. And that is very true. I even dream, like, like I said, I'm newly married, so we are decorating our house and just constantly going for shopping, that we need things to set up the house. And then there is work waiting, but I need to go for shopping. That, like, the working hours are the same for me and for them as well. So if I'm gonna go for shopping, I have to work at night to cover that missing times. And then I go to sleep, I'm tired, and then I'm sleeping. I dream of me in the shopping center still shopping. You know what I mean? You can't just like zoom out and then have a like nice beautiful dreams and waking up very nice and relaxed and start a day again. It will be a dream to
Yeah, it's
to
incredible.
dream something like that reality.
But something that
Yeah.
really helps me when I can turn off all the ideas in my head. It's like meditation before going to sleep. Like I put YouTube, I put meditation to sleep, and I just put those songs or whatever, those audios,
Yes.
and I go to sleep, and that's the only way that I actually.
It distracts you. Yeah,
Mm,
helps you not to think because the music. Yeah, we do the same. Me and my husband. My husband plays piano, and he loves listening piano. So before go to sleep, we put some piano music, the relaxing ones, and just fall asleep by listening to that because I realized as well I had never done that before in my life. So for me, it has to be dark, it has to be very quiet so I can sleep. But then when I say then I can sleep, but because of all those thoughts are running through your mind that like a thinking, and then at some point you fall asleep, you don't even know when. But I realized that listening some music, some relaxing pieces, it just helps and distracts me from thinking, but just puts me in a mood that I'm relaxed and I just fall asleep and I get more rest
mm.
in that way. So it's, yeah.
If you could suggest or give an advice to someone that is watching us in regards of what we've been talking, what will be like something very short and simple?
So now I think I just watched a short video today in the morning, so it did affected me, and maybe I would love to share that one. So there was a professor holding a jar, and he put some, tennis balls in it, and jar seems full. And then he asks his students if the jar is full, and then everybody says yes. And then he's like, okay. And then he pours some small stones into it, and the jar takes it because there are still gaps in the jar. It's actually not fully full. Um, and then he asks again, is it full now? And then they say yes. And then he goes, okay. And then he pours some sand in it, and the jar takes the sand. And then he goes, is it full now? And then the student goes, yes. And he pours some beer on top of it. And then the jar takes it. And then he goes, this jar represents your life. And then the tennis balls are the most important things. It's your family, it's your friends, it's the biggest, like the most important things in your life. And then he goes, the small stones, they are, the other important things like your car, your job, your, bloggings. And then the small ones is the other things. And then he says, if you put the sand first, which is the small things, you won't have space for the tennis balls or the most important things. And so I think whoever is listening to us is that I would say that it is very important to prioritize what is important for you, your well-being, your family, the time, the quality time that you spend with them is the most important thing. And then of course your work is very important, but you don't really need to overwhelm yourself and miss out all those beautiful things in your life. You know what I mean? And then the last thing that a student asks, like, what is the beer for? You know, and then he says all the things, that are there, but there is always the time to have a couple of beers with friends and, you know, to enjoy yourself. So it's like that. So there's always time. We have to find time to enjoy ourselves and spend time with our friends and families. And we have to work hard, that's true, but always try to have work life balance. Our well being is matters the most.
Very, very, very important. Well, Birkan, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for being today here. The
It
time
was a
is not
pleasure for me too. Yeah.
time is not enough to talk about so many stuff that comes in with the entrepreneurial life. But how can people connect with you?
People can connect with me on social media. So if anyone wants to um, connect with me, they can go to Instagram. EcoVibesAU. It's my work page. So any questions, anything, they can directly reach out to me, or yeah, Facebook as well, or through my website. There are all email addresses and everything in case if anybody wants to contact with me. So the website is ecovibes.com.au. And yeah, I'm here. And
Awesome.
yeah, let's talk.
Thank you so much for being today here, watching this new video. It is very short. It is very short when we talk about these kind of issues, but I think that it is very important to talk about them because entrepreneurial life is not just about making money or even creating impact in the world. It's how we take care of ourselves to create those magnificent things with our businesses. So thank you so much for being today here, and thank you so much, Birkan. It has been a pleasure talking to you, and see you next time. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.